a cheap element.
Okay, let's start
This
over.
is, I'm sorry.
All right, so Chad Scott.
This is a DAV style filter that I've been working on, and essentially the idea is that filter elements are very expensive for waste vegetable oil. For example, if we use the Raycor Parker 900 we talked about earlier, uses this filter element here. It's about $7 for the Raycor Parker, and this is for the 900. Now on the excursion we talked about, it uses two different filters. The R90S is about $23 for this one. Typically we'll get 8 to 10,000 miles out of these. This is a diesel filter. And then this is the big veggie filter. Now I use 2-micron filters, which is overkill, but I haven't had a breakdown either. Okay, so that's the difference. People use 30 microns in these, and they get some junk down in their basket filter in the excursions, but these work very well. And then on the Mercedes, I typically use these. These are Raycor Parker style filters as well. They're just fuel separators and filters. They're really made for a marine application, but you can get these same spin-ons at Napa. They're about $7 or $8. So these are the typical kind of filters, but they're expensive.
What number is that?
This is a Napa 3225 fuel and water separator. Again, this will fit on a Raycor Parker housing as well, and again made for a marine application, a marine gasoline application, in fact. So those are the filters I typically keep for all my clients. But the advantage of this filter is that these filter elements are $1 a piece. You can buy them in bulk for less than $1. And I haven't worked out all the kinks out of it, but the idea, and I've got this on a couple of different vehicles, is that you have a heat ring down here. So in this heat ring, which is sealed off, as you can see, clamped and sealed off, and then there will be your heat comes in and out of around this ring. So the fuel drops down into this filter, and I'll pull this apart into some different sections so you can see kind of what that looks like. That's the heat ring from the bottom. It has a sediment filter. And then there's a screw in the sediment filter where you can actually discharge all the water and any sediment that might be in there. But the idea was cheap, ease of use, and big filter. Everybody thinks big truck need big filter, but it really doesn't. You just need a quality filter, and you need to keep that filtration device changed. So this DAV device, which I'm still, like I said, still a little bit in the experimental stages. I have it on a few vehicles, and it's doing very well right now. But you can catch these things. There's a guy named Robert Davis in Virginia who's done a ton of design work on them as well, and you can get these things on eBay for $150.
The housing, the top housing?
The whole thing, with the filter for $150.
What makes the top housing?
It's made by Balson, but the top housing comes with the filter unit. The addition is the heat ring at the bottom. That's where the real clever part is. This is a regular housing that you could put just about any kind of filter on, but the heat ring at the bottom is what really makes this kind of filter unique. So I would recommend these. Again, I've used them. Raycor Parker, if you're going to go heavy duty. If you want to go light duty, you're just experimenting, you're trying to save some money, this might be a great option for you. This is a little bit dirtier than I would like it to be, but I wanted to pull out I was telling you about a tank that you could drop down in the wheel well. These are ideal for TDIs, any Volkswagen application. Any place where you got a wheel well, you don't want to see the tank. Again, you get to the same issues where you don't want to smell the vegetable oil in the car. You can hook these in, put a dual filler neck on them, and it'll drop it right down in. Now, this tank was fabbed by some friends of mine at SBO Tanks LLC. They're out of Minnesota. Good buddies. You send them dimension, they'll shoot you tanks to match exactly what you want. Has a sending unit in it. It has the heater coil built down in it. It has both fuel exchanges. It has a return line, and it has an overflow. So the guy really thinks about everything that it takes to fab. And if you look at the weld on the weld is just fantastic. I'm learning to weld aluminum. I'm not nearly as good at it as this guy is. So that gives you some sense of what would work. The next thing is valves. Really a couple of different sets of valves.
We'll do a pause on this.
Yep.
All right.